She was just standing by the roadside, minding her business, or so we thought, when a black SUV drove past and splashed muddy water straight on her white lace dress. The SUV stopped a few meters ahead. The driver came down and, God have mercy, it was none other than Reverend Father Marcel, the most respected man in the parish. Normal people would have smiled politely, collected an apology, maybe even asked for small dry cleaning money. But Chinwe looked at him from head to toe like she was calculating how much it would cost to send him to hellfire. Chinwe said, Father Marcel, so this is the evangelism you are doing now, baptizing me with gutter water. Is it holy water that I should be thanking you? The crowd gasped. Some crossed themselves. Others pretended to adjust their clothes just to stand and watch. Father Marcel raised his hand in peace, trying to explain that it was an accident. Chinwe still replied, Accident? You mean missionary assignment? Is that how Peter denied Jesus 3 times? Father, if this is your idea of charity, I suggest you donate your car to the nearest keke rider before you kill somebody. At this point, Sister Agnes fainted, not because of the insult, but because she couldn't believe someone was talking to a priest like that in public. One small boy in the crowd whispered loudly, but Auntie Chinwe wasn't always like this. Nobody paid attention to him. They were too busy choosing whether to laugh, pray, or run before God struck the entire street with thunder. By the time Father Marcel escaped into his car and drove off, Chinwe was still shaking her gown like it had Ebola. The woman selling okpa at the junction were already saying, "Na so she be, no man fit marry am." And if you had asked anyone in that moment why Chinwe was like that, they would have told you confidently, that's just her nature. But that small boy was right. She wasn't always like this. Before Chinwe became the human version of pepper soup without meat, she was actually the type of girl that could melt your anger just by smiling. I know, it's hard to believe that, but once upon a time, she was soft, gentle. You could even give her your last biscuit and she would thank you twice. She was in her final year at the university, mass communication department, living life like God had a special WhatsApp group for her. Her edges were always laid, her clothes always neat, and her English, my dear, if you heard her speak back then, you would think she was being paid per grammar. And then there was Emeka, tall, clean, and always smelling like he ironed his life before stepping out. The kind of man who would enter a room and make every other man suddenly feel like they need to change their shirt. He wasn't just her boyfriend. They were the poster couple of the department. Matching outfit on Friday, joint study session in the library, and an annoying habit of laughing at each other's jokes, even when they weren't funny. And beside Chinwe, almost every step of the way was her best friend Vivian. Slim, always well put together, with hair that could survive an earthquake. Vivian was the organizer of the group, the one who reminded Chinwe of assignments, deadlines, picked her dresses for dates, and always carried a power bank big enough to charge the entire mass comm department. One sunny afternoon, the 3 of them were sitting under the mango tree beside the faculty. Emeka was teasing Chinwe about her high heels. Emeka said, "These shoes are taller than our tallest teacher. These shoes are taller than our tallest lecturer." Vivian replied, "Leave my girl alone. She's slaying for you and you're here talking nonsense." Chinwe turned her head, pretending to be offended. "Please, both of you should respect me. These shoes are the reasons I'm looking at you from heaven right now." They all laughed, loud enough for passerbys to stare. Vivian was there when Emeka would surprise Chinwe with snacks during a study break. She was there when Chinwe nearly fell during a cultural day dance and Emeka caught her like an action movie hero. She was there when they ate roasted corn together after lectures with Emeka holding the corn for Chinwe so her fingers wouldn't get messy. Everything was perfect. Chinwe had her man. She had her best friend, and if you had told her life was about to turn into one long war of words, she would have laughed in your face. It happened on a Saturday, so hot that even the goats were hiding under people's cars for shade. Chinwe had been standing at the faculty gate for almost an hour. waiting for Emeka to come and take her out. Her makeup was melting slowly, like ice cream in Harmattan sun. When he finally drove up, smiling like a man auditioning for most handsome latecomer of the year, she just stared. "Babe, sorry, he started." She raised one hand. "Stop. Before you waste your sorry on me, just know I've been standing here long enough to start collecting gate fee from passerby." A couple of students slowed down to listen. Emeka tried to laugh it off. Traffic was mad. Traffic? So the traffic tied you to the Sterling and started telling you bedtime stories? Emeka, it's 1 hour late you're coming. If I was a loaf of bread, I would have expired. Somebody in the small crowd coughed to hide a laugh. "Chinwe, please, let's talk inside the car." She stepped back. "Inside your car? So that people won't witness how I will use my mouth to flog you." "No, thank you. Let the public enjoy the show they didn't pay for." Now, more students were gathering. Even the security man at the gate pretended he was checking IDs, but was really just listening. Emeka's voice dropped. "Don't embarrass me here." She laughed, that dangerous laugh. "Embarrass you? Oh my dear, embarrassment is when you propose with a fake ring. This is just me introducing you to shame personally." The crowd exploded. One guy in the back shouted, "Viper Queen," and the name landed like a crown on her head. Emeka's face tightened. He opened his car door, but Chinwe wasn't done. "In fact, ladies," she called out, turning to the girls in the crowd, "if your man ever keeps you waiting like this, please go home. Cook jollof rice and eat it alone. Men like this will forget you at your own wedding and still show up late to the reception." People were bent over laughing. One girl had to hold her wig. That evening, Emeka called to patch things up. She picked and said, "Oh, it's you. I thought it was a dry cleaner, because you clearly need to iron your manners." And that was it. Done. Finished. By the next week, Emeka was gone, and Chinwe's reputation as the Viper Queen had officially graduated with honors. From that day on, if you saw her coming, you crossed to the other side of the road, not because she would beat you, but because one sentence from her could make you question your whole life. By the time Chinwe hit her 30s, her mouth had become a registered weapon. She was the kind of woman that if you saw her walking towards you, you quickly pretend you forgot something at home just to turn around. One Monday morning, she was buying akara at the junction. A man tried to squeeze in front of her to order first. Chinwe calmly stepped back, looked him up and down and said, "Oga, is it that you can't see me or your eyes are still buffering?" The akara seller burst out laughing. The man mumbled an apology and went to the back of the line like a repentant sinner. Another time at the market, a tomato seller decided to test her. "Madam, this basket is 5,000. Chinwe tilted her head. 5,000? Are you selling tomatoes or school fees for the farmer's children?" The seller tried to defend the price, but Chinwe wasn't done. "If I buy it, will the tomatoes follow me home and help me cook it?" People around laughed so hard, one man actually dropped his bag of pepper. And then there was the day she entered a keke, and the driver told her, "No change." She looked at him and said, "No change. So what's your business plan? Carry passengers for free and pray for miracle money?" Even the other passengers laughed. The driver had no choice but to find change before she reached her stop. Her reputation spread beyond her street. The woman selling vegetables in another part of town once told a customer, "Abeg, no price this thing too low. I don't want Viper Queen treatment." Chinwe didn't mind. In fact, she liked it. If fear was the only respect people could give her, then so be it. She wore it like perfume, strong, noticeable, and a little bit choking. In another corner of town, far from Chinwe's usual battlefield, lived a man everyone called Papa Sabinus. Nobody knew his real name anymore. Some said it was Monday, others said it was Friday. But Papa Sabinus saw that as long as people remembered to pay him for his fish, they could call him Christmas if they liked. Papa Sabinus was a fisherman, the old school type. No fancy net or motorboat, just his canoe, a stubborn paddle, and a face that looked like it had been marinated in the sea breeze for 50 years. One evening, he set out to fish. The river was calm. The air smelled of salt and smoke from far-off cooking fries. He hummed to himself, occasionally pausing to shout at imaginary people at the riverbank. Eh, eh, I see you, dear. Small pikin. Don't be looking at me as if you want to collect fish for free. Even my wife pees. Hours later, just as he was thinking of heading home, his net caught something heavy. Ah, today is my day, he said, pulling it in. He expected a fat tilapia. Instead, it was an average-sized fish that looked like it had swallowed a wristwatch. Papa Sabino squinted. Which kind belle be this? Curious, he slid the fish open. Right there in the canoe, out slid a small rusty padlock, the kind you see on an old school locker, but with strange markings carved into it. Papa Sabinus held it up to the fading sunlight. Who the padlock fish? He looked around as if the river would answer him. Then shrugging, he fished a bent nail from the canoe and started fiddling with it. Click! The padlock popped open, and somewhere across town at the exact moment, Chinwe, in the middle of insulting a shop attendant for giving her weak nylon bags, suddenly stopped talking. She felt strange, like someone had just switched off a loud generator inside her head. She shook it off, took her change and walked away, but something in her steps felt lighter, though she couldn't place why. Papa Sabinus, meanwhile, tossed the open padlock aside, muttered nonsense, and paddled home. To him, it was just another day at the office. 2 days later, that odd moment in the shop, Chinwe woke up feeling different. Her neighbors noticed it too. The woman who sold bread downstairs saw her and braced herself for the usual "your bread is smaller than yesterday" insult. Instead, Chinwe just nodded and said, "Morning." The woman nearly dropped her tray. "Morning? No insult." Chinwe shrugged. "Your bread's still small, sha, but God will help you." That day, as she sat in her living room scrolling through her phone, she saw a picture on social media. It was Emeka, older, fuller, looking like someone who had been eating 3 square meals and a snack in between. He was at a party, arm around a woman in a red dress. The caption read, "Celebrating love." Chinwe's eyes narrowed, not because he was with another woman. After all, they hadn't spoken in years, but because the woman looked very familiar. She zoomed in, her mouth opened. Vivian, her best friend from university, the girl who used to fix her earrings before date. The one who had shouted "Slay Queen" the day Emeka first gave her flowers. "Ewo," Chinwe muttered, grabbing her bag. By afternoon, she was outside Emeka's house, a small boy playing with a tire pointed. They are inside, and Auntie is wearing wrapper. Chinwe knocked. Vivian opened the door, smiling like a woman in a milk commercial. "Chinwe, my God, long time." Chinwe walked in without waiting to be greeted. "Yes, very long. Long enough for best friends to marry ex-boyfriends." Vivian's smile twitched. "It's not." "Where is Emeka?" Chinwe said, looking around. Emeka came out from the kitchen holding a bottle of malt. He froze. "Chinwe." "Yes, it's me," she said, arms crossed. "The woman you left on the road like forgotten luggage. I just came to see if your sense of time has improved." Emeka's jaw tightened. "You're the one who told me to leave you alone, in front of everybody. You embarrassed me and said I should go and marry my wristwatch." Chinwe blinked. "Me? I said that?" "Yes," he snapped. "And more. You made it clear you never wanted to see me again." Chinwe frowned, genuinely confused. "I remember being angry that day, but I don't remember saying half of that." Vivian shifted uncomfortably. "Maybe you forgot." Chinwe's eyes moved between the two of them. Something wasn't adding up. Chinwe stood there staring at the both of them. "Emeka, you're telling me I insulted you that much? That I told you to go marry your wristwatch? That I said I never wanted to see you again?" "Yes," Emeka said firmly. "And not just once. You repeated it. You practically chased me into the hands of..." He gestured at Vivian. "Ha." Chinwe's brow knitted. "No, something is wrong. I know my mouth is sharp, but that day I don't remember going that far." Vivian laughed nervously. "Chinwe, maybe you blacked out. Anger can make someone say..." "Vivian, shut up." Chinwe's voice was quiet, but it cut like a knife. "From the moment I saw your picture beside him, I knew something wasn't right." The room was silent except for the slow freeze of Emeka's malt bottle. Finally, Vivian dropped into a chair. "Fine, you want the truth? You will get it." She leaned forward, eyes darting between them. "Back in the university, when Emeka told me he wanted to marry you, I couldn't take it. I loved him too, so I went to the native doctor. Emeka's eyes widened. Chinwe's jaw dropped. Vivian continued, voice trembling now. He gave me a padlock and said if I threw it into the river, your mouth will destroy your own life, that you drive every man away with insults. And it worked. That day at the gate, he weren't just angry. The charm was feeding you words. Emeka stepped back like she had grown horns. You bewitched her. Vivian's voice cracked. The native doctor warned me. If the padlock was ever opened, the chorus would break and I'll go mad. Chinwe folded her arms. Well, I hope you enjoyed your last sane morning. Vivian's breath hitched. Her eyes darted widely. Then she started laughing. High, loud and wrong. She clutched her head, screaming between giggles. No, 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 no. She yanked her wrapper loose, knocking over a stool and stumbled out of the house. Neighbors poured into the compound. What happened? Why is she laughing like that? Someone shouted. The wife don't craze. Emeka stood frozen. Chinwe brushed past him towards the door. Congratulations, Emeka. Your wife is trending in the neighborhood for all the wrong reasons. She stepped outside, the warm afternoon air hitting her face. For the first time in years, she felt free. No weight in her chest, no constant fire on her tongue. A woman carrying vegetables looked at her and whispered to another, "Is that not the Viper Queen?" Chinwe smiled faintly. "Retired," she said, and kept walking. The end. Some of the lessons to be learned from this story are: jealousy is a silent destroyer. Some battles are invisible. Guard your inner circle. Words have power. The truth will always surface. Envy never ends well. Reputation is fragile. I hope you all enjoyed this wonderful masterpiece. Do go ahead and click on the subscribe button if you're new to this channel. Turn on the post notifications so you'll be the first to know when I upload a new story. Like this story, leave us a comment, and share this story to your loved one. And I'll see you in the next one, my loves. Till then again, bye. Mwah.
Thank you so much for watching till the end. Please click on the subscribe button to support us. Turn on the post notification to get notified when I upload a new story. Like, share, and comment your thoughts. Till then, bye.